Generals, soldiers, comrades, it is a sad day. Premier Alexander Romanov, so recently ill in bed, has been brutally murdered by General Vladimir.
No. General Vladimir!
As of this moment, 9:15 in the evening, General Vladimir is a non-person. He is now considered refused to be collected. I sense that he is holed up here at the White House, home of the corrupt. Capture the White House and find this non-person. Then you can erase him as we have already erased his name.
Well, welcome back, Commander. So, I guess the lesson today is don't become an enemy of the state. Especially when the state controls everything. And knows everything. Maybe I should just not really think about this too much. We're given a set of new units.
Building.
And they're kind of freaky, really. Depending on how you want to think about it, too, this is kind of a foreshadowing of a certain game. We'll get to it eventually. Best not to focus on it too much right now. Getting to the unit itself, however, these are the Desolator. The Desolator's pretty strong against infantry.
Waiting orders.
Now, the one problem with Desolators is that they kind of don't distinguish between friend or foe, which makes sense, but it's kind of something to keep in mind when playing levels.
Destroy monuments to receive a cash bonus from Moscow. Building. Construction complete. Our base is under attack. New construction options. Building.
Desolators also use their gun, if not deployed, in a sort of ray gun fashion. I've never really thought about it too much. Generally speaking, you use Desolators to irradiate the ground and let them do their thing.
Moving.
Anything that's not mechanical basically never has a chance.
Ore miner under attack.
Ready, comrade.
I guess it's something to also point out that so far we've seen
Construction.
probably about half of, well, actually less than
New
that.
construction options. Building.
So it's been alluded to at least once in the thread, I believe. There's some special units that you kind of don't normally see. The Desolator is one of those.
Vehicle reporting.
There's a few others, well, that don't really feel as special, I guess, or just don't feel or seem like they'd be special units, for example. In the Allied campaign, we'd seen paratroopers every so often, which is more, to me it feels more like an ability given by a building rather than anything specific.
Construction complete. Unit
There's also
ready.
the French Grand Canyon, which is more than
On hold.
just a building.
Cancelled. Unit ready. Unit lost.
Waiting orders.
And the Desolator is
New
obviously
rally point
one
established.
of the Russian special units.
The garrison.
But honestly,
Construction complete.
the ones that we've missed for the Allies,
Training.
it's something that we'll just have to get to once we start talking about skirmishes and multiplayer. Sadly, anyways. There's a couple interesting things that we haven't seen.
Construction complete. Building.
But I don't really want to dig into spoiler territory just yet. Because, honestly, I don't quite remember if we might see some in the future. Getting back to the Desolator, however, it's pretty apparent that not only is our mechanical units safe from its effects, but buildings as well. since there's not much of a reason to ever truly go with infantry for the Soviets, I guess maybe unless you had like a deficiency in tech level, it's kind of one of those situations where just build a ton of Desolators. Don't even worry about attack dogs. As long as you have Desolators, the spies aren't going to get through. There does seem to be, however, at least minimal damage applied to tanks. At least as far as I could tell. I believe I'll show it off later in the video, but it's apparent that at least one unit takes damage from Desolators, even though it doesn't feel like they really should. So, for those who might not have assumed so, yes, that Soviet base that we've seen time and time again in the exact same position on this exact same map, it's still there. There's something about the permanence of this base that is kind of endearing. Whoever the commander is for those guys, he meant something. In the grand scheme of things, he mattered.
Unit lost.
Oh, I think I sped up through it in the previous video, but it's pretty apparent to see how it feels a lot easier to destroy scenery in this game. An Apocalypse tank only needs about one salvo before it can go through a tree or two, which is rather nice because, well, the way that the game plays faster, it's nice not being hampered by
Under attack.
such decorations.
Unit lost. Repairing.
Vehicle reporting. We will bury them.
Also, ever since we've gotten the Apocalypse tank, it's pretty apparent that, yes, it is a juggernaut, and
Building.
at least slightly better than the Mammoth tank of old.
Encountering enemy. Encountering enemy.
It's probably more a fact of the game playing a lot faster than previous iterations. So, not really something I'm going to ever fault the Mammoth tank for, especially, I mean, it is the original. You can't go wrong with the original. But it just goes to show how much more the Apocalypse tank is as an improvement to the Mammoth tank.
New rally point established.
Ready, comrade.
Training.
Ready, comrade.
Unit ready.
I'm really glad I got that unique destruction. Sadly, not all of the special buildings that we get prizes for, or rewards for destroying, have those animations. I believe only 2 of them have them on what would probably be about 6 buildings. Like, I'm pretty sure the White House has a special animation. We've seen this memorial have it. Maybe the Lincoln Memorial? I forget. Also, seeing as we're fighting other Soviets, I should probably point out that one of the biggest concerns you might have with fielding a lot of Apocalypse tanks is that the AI has no qualms against using terror drones. And as awesome as Apocalypse tanks are, there is a bit of a delay between them moving, stopping, and shooting, and sometimes in the span of those few seconds, it's just enough for a terror drone to make it inside.
Unit ready.
Now, if these were good old Mammoth tanks, you'd never have the option to rescue that tank. You'd basically have to send it in front of every other unit, if not just outright destroy it yourself, and then hope that any residual damage or splash could be applied to the terror drone as it gets out. But again, because of the upgraded nature of the Apocalypse tank, you don't really have to worry too much about it,
Ready.
provided you've got a service depot or two lying around. And for those of you who are
Unit
curious,
repaired.
yes, this is absolutely overkill.
Encountering enemy.
I could probably beat this mission with half of these Apocalypse tanks and do so comfortably, but I mean, look, if I've got the money for it,
Unit promoted.
why not?
Ready.
Ready, comrade. Ready, comrade.
At this point, going back to a Rhino tank just doesn't seem right.
Vehicle reporting.
Incoming transmission.
Vehicle reporting.
You are a fool, General. Yuri is playing you like a puppet. You will never capture General Vladimir.
Unit lost. Unit
I wouldn't say such boastful
Unit
things,
promoted.
Vladimir. I mean, I am the most successful Soviet general of all time.
Unit
Ready,
promoted.
comrade. Ready, comrade.
And, I mean, let's face it, if I'm not, well, I've got a buddy named Einstein, and a couple handshakes will probably secure
Unit promoted.
that as a de facto thing.
Unit ready.
But, yeah, once you have enough Apocalypse tanks, you can kind of just steamroll the entire thing. That said, I will waste a little bit of time trying to go around the map just to see things that I may have missed.
Encountering enemy.
If only because I was extremely curious. As you might have noticed, the initial bridge next to the starter Soviet base, the brown one, yeah, it doesn't have a repair hut, but the bridge south of that base does. And one has to wonder why exactly that would be. Could it be that maybe there's a Allied holdout somewhere? Maybe some special panda area? Maybe just a giant penguin that seems to control all and is impervious to all damage. Or it's just more Soviet units for some reason. There's also another thing that I noticed. Desolators don't do damage to each other even in the ray gun form, which I obviously was not expecting. So, might as well organize a little bit of a party. There's also a psychic beacon, and if you destroy it, you get a basic line that just says that the Allied units are no longer under Yuri's control. Or, I guess, Vladimir's control? I don't really understand how that works all that well. Either way, there's not too many Allied units on the map, so it never really felt important, to be honest.
Unit promoted.
Location confirmed. Location confirmed. Changing position. Location confirmed. Waiting order.
So quite a bit of power-ups, but none that are too useful. I guess maybe the radar one if you blitz it, but otherwise...
Waiting orders. Location confirmed. Ready, comrade.
And yeah, there's one of the few special animations. If I had more time, I would have probably made those desolators into a pentagram. You know, just to be,
Building
like,
captured.
that much
Primary
more
building
cool.
selected. Cannot
Maybe in a
deploy
bonus
here.
video or something.
Training.
Ready, comrade. Location confirmed.
Unit ready.
Engineer ramming diagrams.
Building captured. Mission accomplished.